Well, you're gonna invite Dennis for your program?
Danny Glover.
Right.
Hi, David. David Campos,
how are
my
you?
supervisor.
It's good to see you. How are you?
I am well,
look
thank
nice.
you. Oh, well. I am. Oh, excuse me. Hi, Brigitte.
Hi. Oh, I didn't even recognize you. How are you?
I am incognito today.
Recognize when you're crossing grounds.
Do you want it behind the sign or there? Right here. So do you mind if we get started? I know people have been waiting a little bit. There's a lot going on this Sunday before a very crucial election. I want to say what an honor and privilege that we have this really somebody who does not need any introduction at all, but a very famous actor, globally famous, but also a globally famous activist who really reflects the values of a progressive San Francisco and reflects the kind of values as to why the people here at Proposition I are fighting so hard, why the Re-elect Mirkarimi campaign is fighting so hard, and while we are all working to really save that part of San Francisco that I know is very important to all of you and to Danny Glover. So ladies and gentlemen, Danny Glover.
Yeah. Hey.
I'll give you a hand for you being out here today because you are the true believers. And it's important that we talk to the true believers because if the true believers, you don't talk to them, they stop believing. And we know that you believe that we can win this campaign for Ross for sheriff. I happen to have a very special relationship, a friendship with Ross from the moment he was on the board of supervisors. But beyond that, I have friends of mine who are working in restorative justice. And when I've gone up to San Francisco's county jail, going right up here, who do I see when I've come out there 3 to 4 times? I was just up there about a couple weeks ago Tuesday. Ross was there because he cares. He knows that one of the main issues that we're going to talk about is not only issues of equity, we're going to talk about mass incarceration. We're going to talk about what's happening. We're going to talk about jobs. We're going to talk about all those things that are essential for building the kind of progressive San Francisco that we all want to live in. When we support the initiatives around housing, affordable housing, we're talking about making the city and reclaiming this city. We're talking about homelessness. We want to talk about policies that reclaim this city. And that's what Ross has been doing. He's done that throughout his whole career. He's doing that in the position as sheriff, and will do that once we're re-elected as sheriff here. Thank you so much for coming out here. There are 2 issues that I know, there are many issues I know Danny cares a great deal about. He was here 4 years ago at this very corner when we were running for sheriff, and we were having this kind of congregation like we're having today. And joining us when we were here 4 years ago was Roberto Hernandez, who brought lowriders then, and he's here today not just with lowriders, but because we're all in agreement that San Francisco needs to listen to the community and San Francisco needs to pass Proposition I. Everybody, Roberto Hernandez.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
You know, on this very same spot, we supported South Africa, Mandela. We supported Nicaragua. We supported El Salvador. We supported Cuba. We supported stopping police brutality right here in the Mission District. We supported a lot of causes right here in this plaza. This is our plaza. This is our barrio. And we, as a people of El Barrio La Misión, we have stood up for the human rights of human beings, not only in the city, but around the world. And today, we are facing the worst crisis ever. 10,000 people have been displaced from the mission, 8,000 of them being Latinos, because of the corporate greed of developers being given the license to create the supposedly housing plan for San Francisco. How do you turn over a city and allow developers to come in and solve the housing crisis when we've had in the past that AIDS crisis? This city took it by its heart and worked so hard to work on the AIDS epidemic. We educated people, we put money into research, we put money into services, but yet today, under the leadership of, or lack of, Ed Lee, we have a crisis. And 2 years ago, we met with him and said, put a moratorium on evictions, and he refused to do it. Had he done that, along with the Board of Supervisors, we would not be in the crisis we are today. And let me tell you how bad the crisis is. We have 3,000 children that are homeless and their families. And I've said it to the mayor 5 times this year. What are you going to do about the crisis? And every time I brought it out, he's giving me this look like,
I've seen that one.
you know. And I'm telling you something, when the tech industry talks to him, does he give that look?
No, he looks like this.
When the developers give him that look, does he give that look? No, he doesn't. But when it comes to taking care of the people of San Francisco, he has failed. So we, the people, after going to the Board of Supervisors, after going to City Hall twice and taking over City Hall, and demanded that they put a moratorium on development of luxury condos, they failed to listen to the people and do that for us. So we rushed in 19 days, even though we're told it could not be done. And we collected 15,000 signatures to put Prop I on the ballot. And so what do we mean by luxury condos? On Valencia Street right now, a newly built luxury development is selling a 2-bedroom house, a condo, for $2,450,000. Who can afford that?
Oh my God.
Nobody. An apartment just got rented out here in the Mission for $11,000. Who can afford that?
Nobody.
What are they trying to do? They're trying to get rid of all of us and make way for the rich and make San Francisco a hotel for Airbnb. They're making it a city for vacation homes for somebody who lives in New York and somebody who works at Apple in the South Bay who needs a weekend home to come here and play. So we ask you today to call all your friends, call your relatives, your co-workers, and tell them what you heard today. And to please go out and vote this Tuesday, November 3rd, on Yes, on I, to put a stop on luxury housing and give us, the community, the time to be able to sit down with the city and create an affordable housing plan for the Mission and the rest of the city.
We can't, for all of us who were born here or who were raised here, spent a large portion of our life here, this is essential. I know the Mission from the early 70s when I worked in the Mission for the Model Cities program, the Mission Reading Clinic, the Mission Hiring Hall, the the Mission Cultural Center, where all those things that people came together and decided this is how we wanted our community. We must take back the mission. We must take back the city. I saw the gentrification of the Fillmore and the Western Addition because I lived through that as well. So all of us know we have to put out. Those of us who live here can't afford to live here anymore. Those of us who work here, who were born here, who were raised here, can't afford to live in this city anymore. We got to stop it now. It was only because courageous people stood up and put those 15,000 votes for signatures on the petition that we got this on the ballot. And we need it now more than ever. We need to support more than ever. We need to fight right now. The buck has to stop here. We have to be the organizers. We have to be the architects for our own rescue. That's on us. Absolutely. That's on every one of us as citizens. Right now. To the people.
Supervisor Campos, you want to say a few words? David Campos, everybody.
When we took this moratorium on luxury housing to the Board of Supervisors, it became very clear that City Hall has been taken over. Corporate interests, the real estate industry are running the show in City Hall. And the reason why you have this ballot measure, you have these candidates on the ballot, is because we know that when City Hall has been taken over by moneyed interests, the only answer is to have the voters send a very clear message that this city is not for sale. This city, this city does not belong to the Ron Conways of the world. You know, the Donald Trumps and Ron Conways who think that they can just buy their way into anything. We want them to know that San Francisco is not for sale, that San Francisco belongs to San Franciscans. It belongs to working people. And the real challenge that we have before us is, will San Francisco have a middle class? Will San Francisco have a working class? And I don't believe that San Francisco can be San Francisco without a middle class. I don't believe that San Francisco can be San Francisco without a working class. That's why this measure, Prop I, is the beginning of a larger effort to take back this city. We have a presidential year coming up in 2016, and there will be a number of supervisorial seats that will be on the ballot. The fate of San Francisco will be on the line. And when we choose to pass Prop I, when we elect progressive candidates on November 3rd, the people, the powers that be that are right now, they think they're in charge. They think that the world is their oyster. They're going to get a very clear awakening. San Francisco is back. We're taking our city back. Thank you so much.
Speaking of progressive candidates that are not like the mayor we have, we see we have Amy Farah Weiss that is here. Why don't we hear a few words from Amy Farah? 1, 2, 3, anybody but Ed Lee.
So we need to keep San Francisco fair, which means we vote yes on F, A, I, and we replace Ed Lee with a people-powered candidate. When I say vote 1, 2, 3, you say to replace Ed Lee.
That's what's up. We need that.
Vote 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
You know, like has been said here, democracy is the most important tool. It's a hard-won tool that we have in order to shape power in service to people, planet, and equitable economies. Ed Lee is serving corporate interests right now instead of people and the planet, and we have the ability to actually make history globally. Do you know what they did in Barcelona? Have you heard of Ada Colau in Barcelona? She was a housing rights activist that just got arrested years ago for being in a bank and saying we have to stand up for the people. And now she's mayor of Barcelona. We have over 10,700 people that have joined our Vote 1, 2, 3 to replace Ed Lee group in the last month and a half. If all of those people just told 8 people, we won this election. We can do this. And I just want to say a word for Ross Mirkarimi. I live in District 5, and I see people all the time who say Ross took a stand to support the people of San Francisco and the neighborhood. He believes in rehabilitation and a punishment that fits the crime. Ed Lee wants to put 400 more armed police officers on the street, which is only going to fill up our jails. It's not going to get us the safety outcomes that we need. Feel your power. We can control the police department if we become mayor of San Francisco and infuse it with the spirit of Grace Lee Boggs and Africa Bambaataa and United Players and all Zulu Tribe, all nations. So let's do this together. Vote 1, 2, 3 to replace Ed Lee.
1, 2, 3.
Yesterday I was just in Detroit at the Memorial, Grace Lee Boggs. She lived 100 years and 100 days after that. And she was the most incredible organizer. The way she brought people together, the way she brought ordinary citizens together, and talked about the idea of imagination and growing our souls and growing and taking back this which belongs to us. We have to reimagine our relationship to this city. We have to take this city back, and we have to force those who are in power and who want to change this city to a luxury city. We have to force them to say, we're not leaving here. We're not going in here. We're going to be here. We've been here in the past. And we can only do that by standing up right this particular moment. Vote yes for I. Vote yes for F. Vote yes. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of Ed Lee. And vote yes for Ross as well. Vote yes.